Sean, it's match week 10, round 10 in the Premier League. Once we put it in there, we can go look at the Premier League table to see how everyone's standing. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. This is the preview of round 10 in the Premier League from two friends this week who support different clubs, because Brad is still ostriching himself somewhere, head in the sand, doesn't want to face the music of losing to Sunderland at home. Brad.
Hey, listen. I know the feeling as someone who had to rock up to this podcast in the 30s in points in May last year, having to defend my crap team, although still in Europe at the time, was it was tough.
Yeah, but I'm just giving Brad a hard time. But his team isn't as crap as your team was last year. Your team was pretty crap last year.
Whoa, okay.
I'm just saying. I mean,
So
your words, not mine. Your words, not mine.
Hey, listen. So basically the same team. We're doing different results now.
Yeah, except you've got a different strategy, mate.
That's true.
All right.
So what are we talking about this week?
Round 10. We've got 10 Premier League fixtures across 3 days. We got the old Monday fixture at the end, Sunderland to Everton. That could be a good one. But it kicks off Saturday morning, and there's a bunch of games at the 10 a.m. There's no super early. There's no 7:30 a.m. for us East Coast Americans. No 4:30 a.m. for the West Coast Americans. I think maybe the Premier League is looking out for all of those Dodgers fans who have to be up late watching the Dodgers in the World Series.
18 innings.
Yeah, it's tremendous. And so they didn't do it. They didn't do an early kickoff this weekend, or maybe it was because of the Carabao Cup. I don't know. But a host of games on Saturday. But the one we want to kick off with, the one we want to start with, is our Red Card Radio presents, sponsored by Squarespace, relegation 9-pointer, Fulham hosting Wolverhampton Wanderers from the Cottage. Sean, which one of these teams sets themselves up for success going into the second quarter of the season?
I feel like you are trying to set me up with this question. You want me to say that Arsenal West is going to do something that they haven't done thus far. You're setting me up to say that Emil Smith Rowe and Iwobi, right? Leno.
Yep.
Reece Nelson, I think, is still there. Or he's gone for it.
He's at Brentford.
Okay. The fighting Gunners of West London are going to pull this out. And I'm going to have to unfortunately agree with you, because number one, Craven Cottage is a tough place to play.
Okay.
Just by track record of when we talk about tough places to play, I generally have a disdain for that sentiment, because generally the hard places to play are good teams. In Craven Cottage, it's a little bit different because the field setup is different, where it's a little bit tighter of a pitch and the fans are on you, much like they are in Stamford Bridge and a few other stadiums. But it is a claustrophobic feel of Craven Cottage that does seem to unnerve visitors.
Yeah.
But at least they have warm water, by the way.
Yeah, well, they just pump it in from the Thames, right? From the Thames, right? They just get that.
Yeah.
They get that.
Oh, it's nuclear water,
exactly.
so it's warm.
That's why it's warm.
Well, they don't have any at the Emirates.
No, we got hot water.
So if you were passing by the Emirates in North London and you needed a warm shower, you just keep walking, because you're not going to find one there.
As long as you're not visiting from Madrid, we got hot water for you. Okay.
We are joking about a story that Atletico Madrid has filed a official UEFA complaint that they were practicing at the stadium before, and the stadium ran out of warm water, and they had to shower off and either go to the hotel or shower off in cold water after their practice ahead of their Champions League fixture.
I think it was when they got there, the hot water was turned off for some reason. Maybe they were doing some maintenance or something like that. And so Arsenal did have the hot water fixed by the time of their training session was scheduled to end, but Atletico ended about 45 minutes early, and the water wasn't turned on back at that point. But if they had followed their plan, and they stuck to the timeline, they would have had hot water at the Emirates.
It's a very funny situation. That's why I was making light of it. It's a very ridiculous situation. It's even more ridiculous that they filed a formal complaint. It's just comical all around. Just go back to the hotel and take a shower. Like, what are you making a big deal out of this for?
I do think that Arsenal apologized, but it's a silly story. I'm going to have to pick Fulham in this game because every time I pick Wolves, I get burned, which means this will be the one game that Wolves win.
Well, and Wolves haven't given us they haven't given us a reason. So last year, when we decided as a podcast that Wolves just had a tough stretch to begin with, and they were going to come around. They had Matthias. We just talked about it on Wednesday. They had Matthias Cunha. They had Aït-Nouri. They had the players to come around, and we just figured, they had a tough stretch. The team's not that great, but once they got all the big boys out of the way, now we're going up against clubs in our arena. We'll be able to pull some wins out, and they did, and they got the season going in the right direction, and they were fine. And I just don't have that same confidence this year.
And the reason why you don't have that confidence, you want to know the three teams that they most recently lost to? They lost to all three of the promoted teams: Leeds, Sunderland, and Burnley. We dropped in their last 5 games. They've picked up all 2 points that they have so far. 1 point was against Tottenham. The other point was against Brighton, right? But
how bad's that draw looking right now?
Yeah, real bad. But the 3 losses they have are against the 3 promoted teams. And so you look at that. So if we looked at those 2 draws on paper and you say they got a draw against Tottenham, they got a draw against Brighton. Okay, that's good. That's great. That's fine for a team that's struggling. Well done. But the problem is the losses to the 3 promoted teams. That's the problem.
Did you see the video, by the way, of Jose Sa out in the streets of Birmingham arguing with fans?
Telling people I don't sleep. I can't talk to my wife at home because I'm so upset.
I go home and I don't talk to my wife because I'm so upset. He said I am sad. You know, language. It's not his first language. I go home at night and I don't talk to my wife because I am sad. English isn't his first language, but like the message is clear. Like he takes this seriously.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I take this seriously, man.
Any competitor who loses, like they're gonna be mad. Even us, like we're not hyper competitive people. Well, no, I take that back. We're not professionally competitive people, but we are competitive people. And we get upset when we lose in our meaningless competitions, right?
Absolutely.
And so we take it seriously. Most people who are competitive, who play sports, who are involved in any kind of competition, get frustrated when they lose. Like I remember I was playing chess the other day, and I made a stupid move, and I just threw my hands up and I walked away from the board because I was just frustrated. I was mad at myself, right? And it was a nothing game of chess against just a friend. Right? It didn't mean anything, but I was still viscerally angry at myself.
Yeah, it's a conversation I have with my fiance that I can't do things 80%, 70%. I can't. If we are keeping score, I am trying to win it. I don't care what it is. I do not care what it is. I am trying to win it 100% of my ability. And it may not be what my ability once was, but every bit of this, Sean, is trying to win that.
Well, speaking of trying to win, we got the results for the picks from last week at the end of this episode. So we'll have to get into that and go over who is winning overall in the 2025.
In order to be included in that, you're going to want to subscribe, rate, review, and join the Discord, and then you can jump in there and make some picks with us. And we also keep a percentage tally, so if you didn't start from the beginning, you can still kind of win the percentage there. You know?
Yeah, the percentage tally I think is more so for bragging rights rather than the overall winner because we want to incentivize people to make picks all season. But at the same
Yeah,
time, say you found Red Card Radio and it's the 10, getting ready to play round 10 in the Premier League and you're like, "Hey, I'd like to put my picks on some paper." Well, join the
yeah,
Discord and if you make picks for
yeah.
the next 28 weeks and you got the highest pick percentage, you get to look at everybody in the Discord
I
in the
did better
YouTube
than you.
comments and be like, "Just wait till next year because
Yeah, absolutely,
this pick percentage king is about to win it all." Um,
absolutely.
so that was a good point to bring up the
Yeah.
Discord there. Um, also
What else?
also on Saturday we got a spicy little London derby. And
Ooh,
what's spicy about this one is these teams like legitimately dislike each other. The fan bases legitimately dislike each other. The
ooh.
visiting team have a kind of humorous uh, epitaph for the stadium that they're visiting. The Chelsea fans like to refer to the stadium they're visiting as 3 Point Lane because they're visiting White Hart Lane and they always
I
pick
thought
up 3 points at 3 Point Lane. It's what they claim.
I thought you were go- I thought you were gonna go with the toilet bowl, which is funny because I had a comeback for that, which Stamford Bridge actually is a toilet, um, in which people pee in because it's so run down. So
Well,
I don't think that Chelsea fans have a leg to stand on when it comes to stadium upkeep or stadium.
I mean,
So since you went the 3 point lane, I can't make a physical
uh,
location
yeah,
argument on that.
but you're still trying.
Um,
You're
I'm
trying.
trying anyway because they have a crap stadium that
At least it's
is
not Old
crap.
Trafford. At least it's not Old Trafford. Let's be
All
honest.
of that. It's not far above it. It's not. It's really not. They need about $1 billion in upgrades. They really need a new stadium, both Chelsea and Old Trafford. But I think Old Trafford that is in the works that they are gonna.
Ineos is trying to
Not to get off top of
yeah,
it.
Ineos is trying to convince
Okay,
the
so
city of Manchester to
so
do some
it's not
strategic
anything
funding.
concrete. So
Yeah.
we're still in fun. But both of them really need a new stadium. Although it's probably going to take. Neither one of them want to move, but they may be forced to move. Anywho, they have a crap stadium and screw Chelsea. Um,
Yeah.
just because they're
Yeah.
just mad because we have a state of the art stadium uh, built on the same site. We didn't move. Everybody's pubs can stay the same.
You
Um,
did have to go be homeless for what 2 years at Wembley, or was it just
oh, yeah,
was it just one season at Wembley? I think
it was.
I thought it was at
I
least
think it was
two.
like half a season.
No,
It wasn't very long that we were there. Maybe it was a season,
I'll
but they
consult. I'll
because it's
consult the
roughly on the
intern.
same site. Basically, they made half of the stadium where they could, and then they've constructed the other half of the stadium because we are basically on the same site. So it was just basically the stadiums were crisscross applesauce. Um, so I mean, you could see the construction of the building in the final years of White Hart.
All right.
And
Tottenham used
just
Wembley as their primary home ground for 2 full seasons, 17-18 and
oh,
18-19,
okay,
plus a few early matches in 16-17.
okay. Well, yeah. So, but essentially, that's what happened. You could see the construction of the new stadium in the background. They basically made half of the stadium and then demolished the one end and finished the stadium on the other end. But anyhow, they're just jealous. They're just
Okay,
jealous of our stadium. Is all
let's
of
think
what comes
about the
down to it. But
football.
let's dive to on the field.
Let's think about the football. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
this should
listen,
be a good one, right?
I don't think I don't think Chelsea are as good as they think they are. I think the way we are currently playing is defensively more stout, which is what was needed. So we don't give up cheap goals, knock on wood. We don't give up cheap goals anymore. There were a few cheap goals against was it Bournemouth we played that we recently lost to? I believe it was. Um, a few kicks that just confused Vicario. Um, two very good strikes, but uh, one of which should have been blocked. But we don't give up. My point is, we don't give up cheap goals very often anymore. Um, and so goals are going to be hard to come by for Chelsea. And they, without Cole Palmer playing like what Cole Palmer should be playing like, what we have come to expect of him playing like, and he hasn't been doing so. I don't know where their goals come from.
I think that generally I don't disagree with you. I think Chelsea are kind of in a weird position because they have a lot of individual really good players. Um, and you think about, they have a lot of players that could create goals out of nothing. But if you're coming up against a team that's relatively well defensively marshaled, which Tottenham clearly have been so far this season, I think that does lend credence to the idea that they will struggle, that they're going to need a player to unlock the defense. Now, Reece James at any moment could put a killer cross in or killer pass. Cole Palmer is definitely a player that can unlock a defense at any moment, and so all it really takes is like one of those guys to get back to regular form, get back to like what they normally do, and and Tottenham are vulnerable to that. Any team would be vulnerable to that. I'm not saying Tottenham specifically, but like Tottenham in this specific instance will be vulnerable to that. But I also think that Chelsea clearly have a issue. I think defensively, where center backs are injured. Their goalkeeper is not the best. He's not kind of upper echelon, top tier goalkeeper. Prone to a mistake, if you will. And so Tottenham certainly could benefit in that regard. But I do think that these are two relatively evenly matched teams in terms of individual quality players. Um, but it just seems like for some reason Tottenham are in a better vein of form right now, and are maybe a little bit more put together. Perhaps maybe that has to do with more more stability at the back, and like that the spine of the team is less impacted through injuries. Um,
I believe it was the Villa game I was thinking of
yeah,
that
it was the
a
Villa
ball
game.
a ball was just struck that there there's no
Deflections and
reason.
yeah, and then
There's no
Buendía's
reason that
goal.
Vicario shouldn't have there's no reason that Vicario shouldn't have saved the first one. But anyhow, um no, I just think the difference being uh Kudos has been just worlds different from what we've seen because he attacks defenders with his ball skills, and it's different from Brennan Rodgers or Brennan Johnson. Sorry, Brennan Rodgers, who just left Celtic, by the way.
Yeah.
Also, footballing news. But it's different than Brennan Johnson, where Brennan Johnson will take defenders on with his speed,
Yes.
and that can only get you so far. There are a lot of very rapid wingbacks who can stay with a winger. But Kudos will take him on directly, and that creates a lot of space, and it crunches the defense back because there's a backpedaling that's involved with that from the defender versus just running to get to the ball that Brennan Johnson is now trying to play around the defender. So it's a different attacking mechanism.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that Tottenham have a lot of different attack vectors in terms of like how they can score goals, and so I
yeah,
think that
and the other
makes it
thing
very
that's
good for them.
helping, I've been saying for years, the other thing that's helping the defense, it's Paulinho. It's just
Yes.
having somebody in front, just a sweeper, just
Yeah.
somebody to protect the center backs from vulnerabilities.
And to be fair, Chelsea do also have that in Caicedo. Like Caicedo's a
Yeah, they have
great
Casado.
holding midfielder.
Like the ones like you always point out are like Conte. Like
Hmm.
Conte helped Leicester win a title.
They're just kind of like
out of the blue.
they're just like vacuum cleaners in the middle,
It's
and they just are
just
there
they
and
just
sucking things up.
clog it,
Yeah,
clog it up, clog it up, clog up the passing lanes. They know where to be, when to be, how to be, and where to go after they get it. And it's just invaluable. And it's never going to show up on a stat sheet, right?
yeah,
Like maybe interceptions, maybe duels won, whatever. Like maybe you can find a stat that says Paulinho is very good. But I watch a game and he just makes things very difficult on the opposing offense.
yeah.
And other than that, he just gets rid of the ball to somebody who's going to distribute it, and then he's just nothing else shows up on a stat sheet. It's very hard to quantify how important that person is to a team.
Yeah.
And for you, that was I'm blanking the name, but he's not there anymore. But
Partey?
I suppose Partey, yeah, for you for a long time that was Partey.
Now
Just
it's now it's Zubamendi.
Zubimendi, yeah, you have that player that just keeps your back line clean.
Yep.
And then Declan Rice, then he hits it to Declan Rice, and we go on the attack.
So are you feeling bold enough to give me a score prediction? Because clearly you're picking Tottenham to win. But are you
Oof.
feeling bold enough right now to do that, or do you want to wait
I
until?
think we I think we keep a clean sheet with my least favorite scoreline. I think it's 2-0.
Ooh, all right, all right. We'll have
Yeah.
to. That's a good one. If you're a neutral and you've got nothing going on Saturday midday, I think that's one I would definitely
Yeah.
put on the TV. I'm not sure what the college football landscape looks for Saturday, but that's I think going to be a good one. Now, here's here's the $1 million question.
Sure.
We've got in this next match, we've got two teams that can both complete a 5 streak. So, Aston Villa have a chance to complete a 5 game winning streak,
Okay.
and Liverpool have a chance to complete a 5 game losing streak. Do you think they both
Okay.
get it done this weekend?
If I were a betting man, and I might be,
You might be.
I'm I may place a wager on a draw
You troll.
that they both screw their own streaks up. Uh well, I guess that would be that would yeah, Liverpool would get a point out of that. So that's
Yeah,
not messing up their pointless streak. No, this is maybe this is the point that Liverpool wake up, like to go
I
back
think it's got to be.
to actually being a pundit, to go back to actually being a pundit. I think this is the game that Liverpool wake up. They've got a extremely big game against a rival in the standings, and they're coming to Anfield, and you have lost 2 straight Anfield games, I believe. Out of that 4 game streak, 2 were at Anfield.
Oh, I'd have to double check.
I just was looking at it, so give me just a second, and I can
No,
tell you
3 of them were away from home.
3 of them were
At
away. All
Palace,
right,
at Stamford Bridge, at Brentford. They just don't like coming to
okay.
London, apparently.
Which, by the way, when I just tried to pull that up really quick, they also have. You're never going to guess who they have. Since we were just talking about the Palace's streak against Liverpool, you're never
Mm-hmm.
going to guess who they have in the AFL Cup midweek.
Or do they have? Is it Palace? Yeah, they have Palace, don't they?
It's
Yeah.
Palace at Anfield.
Well,
Yeah,
of course,
yeah, the thorn in their side.
that's already happened. You know,
Oh yes, that
yeah,
has happened,
that's.
and
But
Liverpool won astoundingly.
we don't want to spoil it for you. Apparently, Sean does want to spoil it for you. I don't want to. I don't want to personally spoil it for you. So you're gonna have to Google who won that EFL fixture because I don't want to spoil it for you. I
So
generally agree with you that I do think that Liverpool will win this match. Just it seems like they're like those players are all. I think you got to think about the Van Dijks in that team, the Allisons, the Mo Salahs, like the players who have been there, like the captaincy, like the leadership group of this team. Feel you gotta have that like players only meeting where you tell Arne Slot to go get a coffee, and you just look at each other and be like, come on, lads, like we're more than this. Like we are beating ourselves. Like the reason why we're not winning these games is not because of anything anyone else is doing, is because of what we're not doing. And so like everyone needs to turn it on a little bit more. Even me included.
yeah,
It kind of seems like this is one of those moments. Like, look, this is Aston Villa. They're a good team. Like they're in Europe. Like they definitely want to come here and make a statement. Let's go punch them in the mouth.
yeah. And we haven't seen, and for probably 3 seasons now, he started slow, Salah. We haven't seen Salah beat Salah.
Yeah.
Uh, I feel like it's coming. It's been coming the last 3 years. We've said, "Oh, maybe he's over the hill. Maybe he's too old."
Brother,
And then he just does what Salah does,
I keep
and he
saying that.
scores 20 some goals. He
Yeah.
keeps scoring 20 goals anyway, and he
Yeah.
keeps crossing people up, making people look like they're silly. All He just keeps doing it. So
Yeah.
it's coming. It
Yes,
just hasn't happened
it's a
yet.
matter of time for him to turn it on. And
It is
this
inevitable.
this is kind of like a statement opportunity because you are playing against Emi Martinez, and Emi Martinez
Yeah.
is arguably one of the best goalkeepers in the world. I don't think anyone would say he's the best, but he's definitely up there in like the top 10 for sure.
Depends on what shirt he's wearing.
Yes, yeah, you put him in an Argentina shirt, he's otherworldly. But
Stonewall.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think I am leaning more towards Liverpool in this match. Um, I don't think that they lose 2 straight at Anfield. That would be shocking to me.
Yeah.
I just don't see a world where this Liverpool team, as good as they are with the players that they have, could potentially lose 5 straight. And so I think this game ends. I think it's pretty tight, but I think Liverpool pour it on. I
It's
think
like
this
a
is another one of those like
2-1.
4-2 situations, like they saw against
Oh,
Bournemouth in the first round, where Liverpool take the lead twice, Villa come back, and then just at the end, you know, maybe it's Chiesa again, maybe it's Mo Salah, but that they get the job done at the end. They score a couple at the end after they break Villa hearts. So
yeah.
I'm gonna go 4-2 Liverpool in this match.
Oh,
I'm putting
all
it.
right.
I'm gonna go write it in the spreadsheet right now. That's how confident I am, and because since I
Wow.
put a score on it, I have to,
Yeah.
and so I have to do that. So yeah,
Wow.
that's that's what we got. We got a couple other
That's
fixtures
it.
this week that we could bring up.
That's all the important ones,
Those are
really.
the important ones, but Palace and Brentford could be interesting. Both those
I
teams
did
are in a good run of form. Sunderland Everton definitely seems like one that I would keep my eyes on. So
I did want to give a shout to I wanted to give a shout to City Bournemouth.
okay, City
Although
Bournemouth.
that on
Oh
paper,
yeah,
you just look at that game and say, not really a game. City have been struggling, and Bournemouth seem to just want to beat everyone.
yeah. I mean,
So,
Bournemouth
like, that's
are.
just an interesting game. We don't got to dive into it, but like, that's just interesting.
Yeah, we don't have. Yeah, is it at? It's at the
It's at
Etihad.
City Ground.
It,
That's
and
yeah,
so I
whatever.
do think Bournemouth play better at home. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, Bournemouth have been on a great run of form. They haven't
that's
lost in at least 5,
that's an
and
interesting game.
yeah, I think
It's
that one.
it's a battle of 2 versus 5, and the 2 isn't the 2 you think it is.
Yeah, exactly. But those numbers are irrelevant because the table doesn't matter.
Oh, it
But
doesn't matter yet. Doesn't matter
guys, you want to hit that subscribe button. You want to ring the sub notification bell
next week.
because the very next episode of Red Card Radio, the table will matter, and you better believe I'm going to bring it up. You better believe I'm going to have that thing queued up. And we're
Yeah,
going to
because
spend.
it's not possible for you to not be in first.
That's true. I hadn't thought about that. I hadn't
Yeah,
deep
it
that.
is mathematically impossible for you to not be in
You
first
know,
next week.
Sean. There's a
You can either
reason.
lead by 4, you can lead by 4 or you can lead by 1. You cannot be in second.
I think. I think that we're going to go to 25 points. I think we're going to. I think we're going to lead by 5.
Ooh.
I think we're going to lead by 5 because I think Tottenham
That,
are going to win.
are you indirectly predicting that City wins?
I am indirectly. Yes, I am.
All right, all right, all right.
Dang, I'm. You know what? Thank you for calling me out on that. I'm putting that one in the spreadsheet too.
I don't, well, you indirectly did it. You didn't do it, and you
I,
didn't put a score
I
to
did
it.
put a score
You
on
don't
it,
have to put
but
it in there. I'm
no,
not holding you to that, but you
it's
did
in.
indirectly say
Straight
that
up. If,
Bournemouth lose.
if if Arsenal lose at Burnley, I'm going to be not pleased. Not pleased. Um,
Turf more. Turf more,
Turf,
Sean.
Turf Morshawn comes back. Let us know in the description what you're looking forward to this weekend. Get in the Discord, get your picks in. It's Friday now. You have until, Brad would say, you have until the games start. Honestly, just, you'll see us pinging the Discord with everyone putting their picks in. So you should do that too. Everyone get in there if you're watching this. And Until then, hit us up on social media. That guy is at whiteheart_Sean. I am at James Tiffany. Brad is at KS Brad G. Maybe we'll find him next week. Collectively, we are at redcard_radio. And it's a great weekend for football. I hope you enjoy it. And we will be back next week to break it all down for you. Until then, enjoy the football. We will see you next week.